Hey Gemini, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for March 4th, 2025. This is for Gemini. Oh gosh. Gemini, hold on. Cards are just not happy with us. Okay. The whole deck flew out of my hands. Last shuffle for Gemini. I'm like, okay. I got it back though. The whole thing just kind of fell. So we have travel and peace. Sorry about my voice, y'all. I have allergies like crazy. I live in the southeast corner of America, and when I tell you my throat, it just started hitting me yesterday. I'm like, oh gosh, am I sick again, or is it allergies? And of course, Benadryl did the trick last night. I can't do anything else; it doesn't work. So, uh, travel with peace, okay? And this talks a lot about how you're seeing a lot of problems that you didn't see before. Something may have been, yeah, the tower. Okay, I was seeing a lightning bolt, and here goes tower. Because I'm seeing that you now in light of some truth, in light of something being brought to the surface, we're now seeing that this problem have been going on for a long time. Okay, something may have been going on for a long time, and now finally it's all coming to a head, and you're starting to see all of the things. You know how it's the equivalent to saying like a lightning bolt. You know how you think that you had a leak, right? And then something happens, or you think that oh, there's a little bit of, well, actually, the best way to say this, because we all know about like pests, right? By the time you see a pest on the surface, on your floor, on your counter, on your table, on the wall, you've been infested already. And that's kind of what they're showing, that there may be a situation like that. It's not necessarily pests. I don't see pests. I'm just using it as an example because it kind of helps to get the general idea. At least for me, sometimes I feel that sometimes spirituality can be very elusive, um, and it helps me. I'm a very visual person. So yeah, I have to have all three, to be honest with you: visual, verbal, and I have to have it like be able to like work with it too, all three at the same time. Then I got it, boy. What. But so that was difficult to teach. I was very difficult. But travel tells me that it seems as though something has come to the surface. This looks like okay, well, they are showing a home that perhaps you didn't see, and perhaps it was there, but you were so busy that you were kind of like, you know what, next week I'll do it. You may have been putting something off, and now they're showing that you may for some of you, you may have to get the authorities involved, or some level of authority involved, right? There may be some building codes that's an issue, right? But by the time I see mold, I'm infested with black mold all behind my bathroom wall. There may be something like that going on for some of you. This is a small portion, maybe home issues that you saw it, but you kind of was like, well, I mean, I'll get to it when I get to it. And now it's come to a point where it's like you have to have a strong defense or a strong offense to take something down, to fix it, to challenge it, to take it, you know what I mean, to work for it, work through it. They're wanting you to realize too, and when it comes to love, you've come to this point where you see a truth, you see something is a much bigger problem than you knew, or maybe you knew but you didn't realize how bad of a problem something was. So there's something here where Spirit's saying maybe the best defense or the best protection is to step back and understand that it's time to work on you. It's time to focus on what you're going through, or what you're about to go through. They're saying that you are very lovable, and that you're going to see that more and more. Some of you may be indigo children. I want to throw out there. Otherwise, you incorporate the color indigo into your space, whether you're wearing that color or it's just around you in general. This color will help you to improve your third eye vision, and that will help you to see more about yourself, like that you deserve to be loved, that you are so lovable. You may not feel that way, right? Who feels lovable if they are in a situation that is much bigger than you thought, a much bigger issue than you thought? And it's not like this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does look like there's something troubling that is it's much worse than you thought, or you know what I mean, but it's not so bad you can't get through it, because I'm seeing angel number 2424. I'm also seeing too that you can't approach a problem the same way and expect it to get solved. Like you've got to go a different way, or you got to be open to different possibilities in order to fix the problem. It's fixable. um, Something beautiful will come out of this whole situation too. Spirit wants you to know it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's just that it's important that we see it and work on it now before it gets any worse. Even if you deal with it and it seems worse than you thought it was, or it gradually got worse because you may have been so busy you just kept putting something off. um, it will get better. Angel number 2424 speaks a lot about how when you see this, this is a reminder that you are so lovable. I keep seeing you are lovable here, and that someone may not feel that way. Like I'm too much, I'm a burden, I'm a problem, right? And um, I'm hardly ever celebrated. I'm the last on the totem pole of priorities in people's lives or even in my own. And I'm seeing that angel number 2424 is about you speaking about how you feel, and talking to your family and friends. And then you'll find that everyone's kind of feeling the same way. So it's not personal. It's not that people are trying to put you on last on the priority list. They're putting themselves last on the priority list too, and they recognize something. This would be a kindred energy when you see 2424, where you express how you feel. They all say the same thing, and then they're like, you know what, maybe we should do something. You know what I mean? Maybe we should change how we treat each other so that I am in a better place too. I'm seeing that a lot of people are rooting for you. You have a lot more support than you think, and you need to spread love. So that would be that vibe of it. Like I said, we're talking about our feelings, and they all go, "Me too." Oh my gosh! And then it's like, you know, from here on out, let's have a lunch date, right? If it's your friends and you're all like new moms or moms, and everybody's like, you know, I feel like nobody checks on me. I feel like nobody cares about me unless they have a problem. And then they go, "Me too." Oh my gosh! You know what we should have lunch every Saturday afternoon. You know what I mean? There's something about it being returned to you multiplied if you are in that space, okay? Because there's something about you needing to take a step back and really focus on you. I'm seeing a lot of blessings coming towards you. Some of you would need to look in your chart to see if you have a grand trine. I'm seeing peaceful resolutions coming in. The angels are kind of like promising peaceful resolutions to some serious problems. It may something is coming to a head, but you need to believe in yourself and your abilities and trust in the magic that's happening in your life. Something was being brought to a head on purpose so that you see it now, because something needs to change. Completely, something needs to change. You may feel that people around you are very opinionated, impatient, or reckless, and that may keep you from speaking your heart out, or speaking up, and you know, speaking your mind. But you've got to let go of being fixed all the time. It's against your energy in the first place to be so fixed, where you're just like, you know what, I'm not going to. I have a schedule to keep. I've got to keep doing XYZ, and it keeps you so busy that you're still maybe losing focus about why something was brought to your attention in the first place. It was brought to your attention in the first place to nip it in the bud before it gets too late, before it's too late, before it chokes your whole tree. You know what I mean? Cut that weed out before it chokes your garden. Back and forth, King of Wands and the Eight of Swords. And that, you know, they showed me a garden, and you know how, like, if you grow a garden, I don't know if you guys are gardeners, but for me, I'm one that I don't like to pull weeds, because usually weeds are medicines. And so you look at something, you go, I wonder what it will grow to be. So I'm going to watch it grow for a little bit, and if I see that it's actually something um, potentially life threatening to something I'm really trying to grow, then I will pull it. But I'm going to wait to see what it is first. And that may be what it is. If finally, when it grows and when it comes to a head, you're like, oh my gosh, that's poison ivy, I got to pull it out. But by that point, the roots are really deep. So that's something where Spirit's trying to say, like, you finally see it. Now it's like kind of deep. We got to fix this. We got to pull this. Or it's kudzu. And you pull it out, you're like, oh my gosh, it's kudzu. It's probably all the way to China by now. Like, the roots, come on. Or bamboo. Oh my gosh. One of my friends in the neighborhood, on the outside of where I live, like right at the end of my street, they planted a bamboo little fence kind of thing, and it overtook and ruined their foundation. and overtook they cracked their driveway and everything. I'm like, and every time it rains, it sucks all the water from everything else. It's so funny because now we're just like, yeah, now I know better. But yeah, but it, bamboo's quite strong, so we were able to use it for something. But back and forth with King of Wands and the Eight of Swords, back to what we see here. Okay, you know how I do. This looks like you're back and forth about waiting because you may be worried still. Like worry may have you in analysis paralysis. Spirit doesn't want you to overthink anything at this point. They want you to take charge. But you may be, the back and forth is like, maybe I need to think about this further. The other side of you is like, oh my gosh, let me do it now. And they're showing that you may be back and forth, but it's very important that you don't wait, okay, on something that needs to be done. You will come to a peaceful resolution, but don't allow yourself to overthink things and from a place of fear as well. You may need to get the authorities involved. You may not want to. This is back and forth saying, I don't know if I should get the authorities involved. Some of you may be concerned about being incarcerated or entrapped. Like, I call them and show them this problem, and then out of nowhere, I'm the one in cuffs. Kind of vibe. You know how that happens, right? You call and be like, this and this is happening in my home. I need help, and then they show up, and then the next thing you know, it's like you're the one in trouble. And so some of you may be back and forth about that too. Transformation is Eight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. This is a cycle of change. It seems as though someone is able to break free out of something that has had you entrapped. New opportunities, but not just new opportunities. This is more of this is like, how do you put this? A new perspective on things or a solution to a problem that may take time to fix everything, but it would require you to implement the solution and not sit there and think about it and ponder on it. Because what will happen, I'm seeing, is someone get busy and then it's tabled or shelved. And then the problem just continues to get worse. They don't want you to be incapacitated with analysis paralysis. Well, what if that happens? Or what if that happens? Okay. Incorporate indigo into your space because it will help you to improve your vision. And like I said, some of you are indigo children. You intuitively can sense there's something going on, and you need to trust that too. Okay, you need to believe in your abilities to see things or feel things as well. Okay, I'm seeing that you've got to, you need to write. You need intentions set. Okay, you write your intentions on a piece of paper and place, like anoint a candle, and anoint the candle in any, I mean, it could be anything. I literally, you could look up the oils and what they do and what would serve your intentions best, right? And then you would want to look up herbs as well. You could do both, right? You by anointing, right? You just put the oil on the candle and you could roll your candle with herbs, right? Or sprinkle them on. You could do all kinds of things. You could stick crystals in the candle and all that stuff, whatever it is, right? Anointing a candle is something that could be so creative, and you can make it as strong as you want, whatever it is that you want, right? And you would put the candle in a candle holder, or you know what I mean, light the candle and kind of say something to the magnitude of like, this candle is blessed. This is the light of the creator, a goddess, a god, deity, whichever angel, whatever name. I burn this light, of whichever, right? And hear my prayer, hear my need, grant my wish, and give me hope. Do so with all grace, kind of things, and or magical speed. I'm seeing a white raven spirit in this, and they're saying that you've got to trust in magic. Okay, and then read your intention as you wrote it on the paper. Read it word for word, and then roll that paper into a scroll. Use a few drops of the wax from your intention candle to seal your sacred statement. Okay, and then put your paper on the altar, or on a altar, or in front of that candle, and allow that candle to burn all the way down. They're asking you to do something to that magnitude here. Not anything fancy, right? But look into Grand Trine in your chart or Rooster. Rooster year of the rooster. That's not in your chart, but year of the rooster. I'm seeing a rooster, a white raven, um, and that's about communicating, right? Honest communication. You're very talented with your words, and so they're asking you to speak from the place of like the hard work that you would like to start doing, right? They're saying that you're a very hardworking person, a very honest person, very talented, but don't feel as though speaking your feelings, because if you're that way, a lot of people have a hard time speaking out about how they feel, because it feels reckless. It feels like I don't want to come off as someone who's very opinionated. I don't want to come off as someone who's impatient, or someone who's just talking out the side of their tail. Feelings often are that way. Emotions often are that way, right? So yeah, speak. Now you could be dealing with a Cancer. We have Scorpio. We also have Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So you could be a Gemini, Cancer cusp, dealing with a Cancer, Leo cusp. We also have Scorpio, Sagittarius cusp. And if you're not dealing with those signs, which you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.